What's up everybody? It's Mohanad, and welcome back to the channel. I get asked all the time about the best way to handle money, especially when you're just starting out or trying to get your finances in order. And honestly, it's a great question because mastering your money isn't some secret code reserved for the ultra-rich. It's a skill that literally anyone can learn, and it can completely change the direction of your life. It doesn't matter if you're making minimum wage or a six-figure salary. Understanding the fundamentals is what separates those who build wealth from those who are always just getting by. These principles are universal, and they're the bedrock of financial freedom. So, for that reason, I wanted to strip everything back to the basics and create the ultimate guide. Forget all the complicated jargon and the get-rich-quick nonsense you see online. This is about building a solid, unshakable foundation for your financial future. It's about making smart, intentional decisions that will pay off for decades to come. Think of it like this. You wouldn't build a house on shaky ground, right? The same applies to your finances. You need a solid base before you can start building upwards towards your goals, whether that's buying a house, retiring early, or just having the peace of mind that you're in control. That's why in today's video I'm going to break down the top 10 most essential money tips that you absolutely need to know. We're going to cover everything from the ground up in plain and simple English so you can walk away from this video with a clear, actionable plan. These are the exact rules that have helped countless people turn their financial lives around, and they can do the same for you. So, make sure to grab a coffee, get comfortable, and maybe even take some notes because this is the stuff they should have taught us in school. Let's get into it. Alright, let's start with the absolute cornerstone of financial health, and that is creating a budget. I know, the word budget sounds restrictive and boring, like you're putting your money on a diet where it can't have any fun. But I want you to reframe how you think about it. A budget isn't about restriction, it's about permission. It's a plan that gives you permission to spend your money on the things you truly value, without the guilt or the stress of wondering if you can actually afford it. It's you telling your money exactly where to go instead of scratching your head at the end of the month wondering where it all went. It is the single most powerful tool for taking back control. Without a budget, you're essentially flying blind. You're navigating your financial life based on feelings and guesswork, which is a recipe for disaster. A budget is your roadmap. It shows you exactly how much money is coming in, and more importantly, how much is going out. This simple act of planning allows you to see leaks in your spending, identify opportunities to save, and consciously direct your resources towards your most important goals. Whether you use a simple spreadsheet, a fancy app, or just a pen and paper, the method doesn't matter as much as the habit itself. This is step one for a reason. Every other tip we're about to discuss becomes 10 times more effective once you have a solid budget in place. Now, having a budget is fantastic, but it's completely useless if you don't follow it up with this next step: tracking your expenses. This goes hand in hand with budgeting, but it's the active, ongoing part of the process. If your budget is the plan, then tracking your expenses is the execution. It's the daily practice of logging every single purchase. From your morning coffee to your monthly rent payment. It sounds tedious, I get it, but this is where the magic really happens. This is the moment of truth where you confront your actual spending habits, not just what you spend. You might be shocked to find out how much those small, seemingly insignificant purchases add up over a month. This practice brings a level of awareness that is impossible to achieve otherwise. It forces you to be mindful and intentional with every transaction. Suddenly that $5 coffee isn't just a coffee, it's a line item in your budget that you have to account for. This isn't about shaming yourself for spending, it's about gathering data. You're like a detective investigating your own financial case, and the clues are in your bank statements and receipts. Once you know exactly where your money is going, you can make informed decisions. You can see if your spending aligns with your budget and, more importantly, if it aligns with your values and goals. It's the ultimate reality check. Okay, let's talk about something that will help you sleep better at night: building an emergency fund. Life is unpredictable. Your car will break down, your pet will get sick, you might face an unexpected medical bill, or even lose your job. These things aren't a matter of if, but when. An emergency fund is your financial fortress, a cash buffer that protects you from life's inevitable curveballs. It's a sum of money, typically 3 to 6 months worth of essential living expenses set aside in a separate high-yield savings account where you can access it quickly, but won't be tempted to touch it for everyday spending. Without this safety net, a simple emergency can spiral into a full-blown financial crisis. People are forced to rack up high-interest credit card debt, take out predatory loans, or even dip into their retirement savings just to cover an unexpected expense, setting them back years in their financial journey. Your emergency fund is your first line of defense. It turns a potential catastrophe into a mere inconvenience. It gives you the freedom to handle a crisis without derailing your long-term goals. It's not sexy money that's going to make you rich overnight, but it is the single most important thing you can have for true financial security and peace of mind. This next tip is crucial, and it's about avoiding unnecessary debt like the plague, especially high-interest debt. I'm talking about credit card debt, payday loans, and personal loans with double-digit interest rates. This type of debt is a wealth-destroying machine. It works against you every single day, with interest compounding and digging you into a deeper and deeper hole. When you're paying 20% or more in interest, you're not just paying for something you bought in the past, you're sacrificing your future income. Every dollar you pay in interest is a dollar you can't save, invest, or use to build a better life for yourself. It's like trying to run a marathon with a weighted vest on. Now I want to be clear, not all debt is bad. A mortgage to buy a home or a reasonable student loan for a valuable degree can be considered good debt because they are investments in assets that can appreciate or increase your earning potential. The key is to be incredibly cautious and strategic. The danger lies in consumer debt used to fund a lifestyle you can't afford. The best way to avoid this trap is simple. If you can't pay for it in cash right now, or pay off the credit card balance in full at the end of the month, you can't afford it. Period. Resisting the temptation of instant gratification in favor of long-term financial stability is one of the most mature and powerful decisions you can ever make. If there's one tip on this list that I wish I could scream from the rooftops for every young person to hear, it's this one: save and invest as early as you possibly can. The reason is a concept that Albert Einstein supposedly called the eighth wonder of the world: compound interest. It's the process where your investment returns start earning their own returns. It's a snowball effect. Your money makes money, and then the money your money made starts making more money. It's a slow process at first, but over time, it becomes an unstoppable force that does the heavy lifting for you in building wealth. The most critical ingredient for compounding to work its magic is time. The longer your money has to grow, the more powerful the effect becomes. Someone who starts investing just $100 a month in their 20s can easily end up with more money than someone who starts investing $500 a month in their 40s. That's the power of giving your money decades to compound. Don't be intimidated by the idea of investing. You don't need to be a Wall Street expert. You can start small with low-cost index funds or ETFs through a retirement account like a 401k or a Roth IRA. The key is not to time the market, but to have time in the market. Start today, even if it's just a small amount. Your future self will thank you profusely. So, you've got a budget, you're tracking your spending, and you're starting to invest. That's amazing. But what are you working towards? Without a clear destination, you're just wandering aimlessly. That's where setting financial goals comes in. You need to give every dollar a purpose, a job to do. Your goals are the why behind all of your financial efforts. They provide the motivation to stick to your budget when you want to splurge, to save that extra dollar instead of spending it, and to stay the course with your investments when the market gets rocky. These goals are what turn the mundane task of managing money into an exciting journey. It's crucial to set both short-term and long-term goals. Short-term goals could be things you want to achieve in the next 1 to 3 years, like saving up for a down payment on a car, paying off a specific credit card, or building your emergency fund to its target amount. These provide quick wins and keep your motivation high. Long-term goals are the big ones, the things that might take 5, 10, or even 30 years to achieve, like buying your dream home, funding your children's education, or the ultimate goal for many, achieving financial independence and a comfortable retirement. Write them down, make them specific, and attach a dollar amount and a timeline to them. This makes them real and actionable. Okay, so this next tip sounds ridiculously simple, almost insultingly so. But I promise you it is the absolute, non-negotiable secret to building wealth. You must live below your means. In other words, you have to consistently spend less money than you earn. That's it. That's the entire game. It doesn't matter if you make $30,000 a year or $300,000 a year. If you spend every penny you earn or more, you will never get ahead. You'll always be living paycheck to paycheck, just one small emergency away from financial trouble. Wealth isn't measured by how much you make, but by how much you keep. The gap between your income and your expenses is where wealth is actually built. Our society is, honestly, obsessed with lifestyle inflation. The moment someone gets a raise or a promotion, the first instinct is often to upgrade their lifestyle. A bigger apartment, a fancier car, more expensive vacations. They increase their spending to match their new income, leaving them in the exact same financial position as before, just with more expensive stuff. Resisting this urge is kind of a superpower. By consciously keeping your living expenses the same, or increasing them only slightly when your income goes up, you dramatically widen that gap. This surplus is the fuel for your investments, your savings, and your journey to financial freedom. It's about choosing long-term wealth over short-term status. You can follow all the tips in the world, but if you don't understand the why behind them, you're just blindly following a recipe. That's why, honestly, one of the most impactful things you can do is to educate yourself about money. Financial literacy is not a skill you're born with. It's something you have to actively learn and cultivate. The more you know, the more confident you'll become in your decisions, and the less likely you'll be to fall for scams, make costly mistakes, or pay for bad advice. You are your own best financial advisor, and your greatest asset in building wealth is your own knowledge. The good news is, it has never been easier to learn. You don't need a degree in finance. You're doing it right now by watching this video. You can read books, listen to podcasts, follow reputable financial creators online, and take free courses. Learn about different types of investments, understand how taxes work, figure out the details of retirement accounts. The small amount of time you invest in learning about personal finance will pay you back 1,000 times over throughout your life. It empowers you to ask the right questions, spot opportunities, and take control of your destiny instead of handing it over to someone else who may not have your best interests at heart. Your financial plan is not something you can just set and forget. Life changes, your goals evolve, your income fluctuates, and the economy shifts. That's why it's absolutely essential to review your finances regularly. Think of it like a regular health checkup for your money. You need to schedule time, maybe once a month or once a quarter, to sit down and see how things are going. This is your chance to look at your budget, check your progress towards your goals, review your investment performance, and make sure you're still on the right track. It's a dedicated moment to be the CEO of your own finances. During this review, you can ask yourself important questions. Is my budget still realistic, or does it need adjustments? Am I saving enough to hit my goals on time? Are my investments still aligned with my risk tolerance and long-term plans? Maybe you got a raise and need to decide how to allocate that new income, or perhaps you realized you're overspending in a certain category and need to rein it in. Regular check-ins prevent small issues from becoming big problems. They keep you engaged and in control, allowing you to make small, proactive course corrections along the way instead of having to make drastic, reactive changes down the road. And finally, we arrive at tip number 10, which is all about playing the long game planning for retirement. I know that if you're in your 20s or 30s, retirement can feel like an abstract concept, a million years away. It's so easy to think, I'll worry about that later. But later has a nasty habit of showing up much faster than you expect. The decisions you make today will have an outsized impact on the quality of your life decades from now. The goal is to reach a point where working becomes a choice, not a necessity. That is the ultimate freedom, and it begins with planning for your future self today. Start by taking advantage of any tax-advantaged retirement accounts available to you, like a 401k through your employer, especially if they offer a match. That's literally free money. If you don't have a 401k, open a Roth or traditional IRA. The key is to start contributing consistently, even if it's a small percentage of your income. Automate your contributions so the money is invested before you even have a chance to miss it. As your income grows, make it a priority to increase your contribution percentage. By consistently saving and investing for the long term, you are buying your future freedom one paycheck at a time. You're ensuring that the future you will be secure, comfortable, and able to enjoy the fruits of a lifetime of hard work. And there you have it. The top 10 foundational money tips that can truly change your financial life. We've covered a lot, from creating a budget and tracking your spending to investing early and planning for the future. I know it can seem like a lot to take in all at once, but please don't let that overwhelm you. You don't have to implement everything perfectly overnight. The most important thing you can do is to just start. Pick one tip from this list, just one, that resonates with you the most, and commit to applying it this week. Maybe it's finally writing down a budget, or opening that high-yield savings account for your emergency fund. Small, consistent actions are what lead to massive results over time. The journey to financial well-being is a marathon, not a sprint, and it starts with a single step. The power to change your future is literally in your hands right now. These principles work, but only if you put them to work. So I encourage you, start today. Start building that solid foundation, brick by brick, and you will be amazed at what you can achieve. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make starting from this very moment. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What is the single best piece of financial advice you've ever received? Or maybe you have a unique money tip that has worked wonders for you that wasn't on this list. Please drop it in the comments section below so we can all learn from each other and build a community of financially savvy individuals. And of course, if you found any value in this video, please do me a huge favor and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really helps the channel out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.